there's a whole lot more to him just going to the 8 car here. There was a lot that had to occur to make this move work.
There was a lot to unpack, and I think we can say maybe it was one of the worst kept secrets over the last several days. On Tuesday, September 13th, Kyle Busch and Richard Childress held a press conference at the NASCAR Hall of Fame in Charlotte, North Carolina, to formally announce that Kyle Busch will be the driver of the number 8 car come 2023 in the Cup Series. Reporters asked a variety of questions. Those two made themselves available to the media and tried to answer as many questions as they could. And we know he's going to drive the 8 car. Tyler Reddick, per Richard Childress, is still under contract. There's going to be 3 charters involved. At this time, we don't know where that 3rd charter will come from just yet. But it looks like Kyle Busch, he is making some sort of a return home, right? He ran Chevrolet originally in the Cup Series with Hendrick Motorsports. And when he made that jump, Tyler, to Joe Gibbs Racing in 2008, Richard Childress Racing was one of the teams that he did speak with before he ultimately landed with the 18 team. And Kyle, in that presser today, said, because he was asked, look, what about running the 8 car? What does that mean to you? Well, I got to run the flagship car, the 18 car with Joe Gibbs Racing, getting to run with Richard Childress. I'll run the car numbers that the owners provide to me. So he's looking to build on that legacy. 60 wins, 2 championships, 18 straight years of winning at least 1 race. The list can go on, but certainly a lot of questions answered this week after that Tuesday press conference.
Yeah, I think this is a bigger deal for RCR than it is for Kyle Busch. And although, we've heard some things about, hey, not great necessarily that the driver with the most wins and the most championships is probably taking a pay cut of sorts. I understand where there might be some financial concerns with that. But the reality is, the truth of the matter, Dominic, I look at it this way, that it spreads out the talent, right? Joe Gibbs is still going to be competitive. RCR is going to be elevated with Kyle Busch there. And, I mean, everyone just improves. And Ty Gibbs gets to move up in Cup. I think for the betterment of the sport, this is a good thing. I'm excited about this, and I think Kyle Busch is going to be widely successful. Joe, what say you? What's your reaction to Joe Gibbs making this move to RCR?
Well, it's very interesting. Kyle is he's a racer, and he races hard in no matter what he's in. If he's around a race car, he's going to be working on it, trying to make it go faster, whatever it may be. So this is a good opportunity for him. It sucks that they didn't get the money they needed at Joe Gibbs to keep him there. But in a sense, it's kind of a reset point for him. So he gets to start over and take all that knowledge that he's learned and try and help Richard Childress get their cars faster. So he'll have success. I know Kyle really good. I know John Hunter knows him very well. And Kyle is a fierce competitor. And especially if he's pissed, he's going to drive the wheels off that thing.
Well, and Tyler, I think it was Dave Wilson of Toyota Racing Development had said, I think at Talladega in May, made the comments to the media, we don't want to be racing against a pissed off Kyle Busch. How pissed off is Kyle going to be with a vengeance next year?
I think he's going to have a chip on his shoulder, something to prove. What I do wonder, he is on the back end of his career now, the latter half. And we've seen guys when they move teams later in their careers where the success might drop off a bit. What I wonder is if he can still be at the competitive level that he was at Gibbs, if he can run at a championship level. I think about Tony Stewart when he had that great run at Stewart Haas Racing where he brought home that championship race determined and won in the 14 car. He got it done. I still think, Dom, what say you? I think that Kyle Busch is still capable of running at a championship level and bringing a championship to RCR here. But RCR, they're going to have to continue to run like they are now. It can't be like what we saw the stretch of from Kevin Harvick left up until now when Tyler Reddick started winning races.
Absolutely. And I think Kyle touched on that too on that press conference Tuesday. He did say he wanted to join an organization that he felt like he could win immediately, and they had proven that this year by getting both of their drivers rather inside the playoffs. And I have to ask you, Joe, it was rumored that Kyle had talked to up to 8 teams. Were you shocked or surprised that he ultimately ended up at RCR?
Not really. You know, you start looking through the teams of where he could have went. You know, I think originally everybody thought he was going to end up at Stewart-Haas or Stewart-Haas Racing, because they had an open seat. And I mean, you start looking around, where else could he go? And in you know, the RCR banquet or Colleague Racing was another opportunity. You know, I think that's all tied together up there, but you know, it's kind of limited on where he could go and do this, because he wants to be in competitive cars. He's not going out there to run in the back. I mean, he's got to have an opportunity to be competitive, and or else he won't be doing it.
I agree. And I think, Tyler, Joe, I think when we're looking back on 2023, Kyle Busch is going to break that NASCAR Cup Series record of winning at least one race a year. He's tied with Richard Petty at 18 straight seasons. I think he gets that done with Richard Childress Racing next year.
Absolutely.
I think so too. I think he'll get a win next year, and he'll be competing for that championship, and we'll see him running up front. And I'm excited. And Dom, you know, the Kyle Busch story has been a fascinating one. You go back to, you know, when he joined Gibbs, you know, that was, you know, with what was it, the second year, the COT car and new manufacturer in Toyota, and he adapted so quickly, and he's been able to just win in anything. This next chapter, I think, is going to be fascinating to see what he does, switching back to Chevy, and that RCR camp. They're going to be winning, but the other stuff, he talked about, kind of, he's going to have the freedom to do other things. He wants to run the Indy 500 for a Chevy team. He's talked about running some other series outside of NASCAR. Joe, we might see a new Kyle Busch of some sorts, kind of be freed up, do some things he wasn't allowed to do maybe at Joe Gibbs Racing. Yeah,
that's definitely going to be interesting. You know, Kurt went off and ran the Indy 500, so he's got to top his brother somehow. You know, that's all coming around.
Real quick, guys, on this note too, the future of Joe Gibbs Racing. Ty Gibbs, have to imagine, slides into the 18 car, Dom. But Martin Truex, we don't know how much longer he's going to be around. Denny Hamlin, same could be said there. We don't know how much longer he's going to race either. And you lose KBM to Chevy now. What about the future of Joe Gibbs Racing beyond just the Ty Gibbs element? I think there's a whole lot that they lose out of not having Kyle Busch in there in the camp for JGR and Toyota here.
You're absolutely right. TRD had a great feeder thing there with the Truck Series team and Kyle Busch picking out talent to feed up to the Xfinity Series and to the Cup Series. It's going to be interesting to see how that all folds out now. And if I remember correctly from that press conference Tuesday, Kyle Busch did say that they're still trying to figure out how it's all going to work with the Truck Series deal. So remains to be seen. Joe, maybe we see your son in one of those Gibbs cars someday in the Cup Series.
Yeah, who knows? You know, this is a silly season right now, and have no idea what's going to happen with John Hunter, but he'll end up somewhere good.